And we are live here in downtown Toronto on Sunday evening for your Facebook Live. Hope you are well. Apologies for not being around for the last few days. It was my intention to be on every night this week between 7 and 8 p.m. for these, but I'm going to explain what happened and why there hasn't been 7 and there's only been 3 Facebook Lives this week. I'm going to talk a little bit about Groundhog Day and how that relates to anxiety. But what I should probably do, rather than assuming, is just quickly tell you a little bit about me. My name is Luke Michael Howard. I'm a clinical hypnotist, a change worker. I've been helping people change their life for over 20 years now. I help people solve things they believe are unsolvable. I help people fix things they believe are unfixable. I've worked for governments, I've worked for celebrities, but I've also worked for the people that have fallen through the cracks, that have nowhere else to turn and they're at their last resort. I have a particular set of skills that make me a nightmare for your anxiety. I specialise in helping people overcome their anxiety rapidly without years of costly therapy and traumatic therapy and years and years and years of medication. If you've got a problem, specifically anxiety, and you've lost all hope, come find me. I can help you fix you. If you're watching, give me a wave, give me a thumbs up, or just say hi in the comments below. So I'm going to be honest with you today. I'm always honest, but I'm going to drop some truth bombs onto you today. As I said, my intention was to come on every night this week at around about 7 to 8 p.m. this week for a Facebook Live. But I got a bit down this week. It was a bit tough for me this week. You're like, Luke, aren't you always supposed to be in this uptime state and you're helping people overcome anxiety? How can you be a bit anxious? How can you be a bit sad? How can you be a bit stuck? I'm human. And I had some tough days this week. And it was just the groundhog, the monotony of every day, the same fucking routine of getting up and not being able to go out, or do the same training regimes every week and doing the studying and looking to help people and kind of being in this prison that we're all in now, right? Because we're social distancing and we're advised not to be interacting with people. And it took its toll on me this week. And what can happen with someone who used to self-isolate as a youngster to try and deal with my shit is it could be a vicious circle, because naturally I am introverted, even though that might be difficult for some people to believe. Well, actually I'm introverted extroverted, which means if I go somewhere I don't really want to go, I'm tremendously introverted and I want to leave. If I'm somewhere that I want to go and I'm the center of attention, I'm incredibly extroverted. So I'm right in the middle. But I used to self-isolate before it was the cool thing to do as a youngster. It was the way traditionally introverts, that's how we know as an introvert, is you recharge by having some quality time by yourself, whereas an extrovert will re-energize by having when they're with a group of people or significant other. So yeah, but and we need this as introverts, right? But basically what happens is we also need social interaction with people, but sometimes we get caught in that vicious circle. Well, I need some time by myself, and an hour turns into 2 hours, turns into half a day, turns into a day, turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year. You know, I had one when I was a kid, as a teenager. I remember I had 6 weeks. So essentially, in England, I sequestered myself in my bedroom and did not leave. So I, you know, because I had this social anxiety thing. So I can understand, you know, having overcome social anxiety myself and other forms of anxiety, how this can technically put you back in your shit, and be in an environment where you're there with your own thoughts, ruminating. When is this lockdown gonna end? When will the world get back to normal? You know, and it can run you down a little bit. It can beat you down a little bit, and like that Bill Murray movie, that Groundhog Day of every day, just same fucking shit every day. When is stuff going to change? And it just can be a bit monotonous and very, very tiresome, to quote Kevin Dunn. So, you know, I am not immune to feeling unresourceful emotions. I am not immune to sometimes feeling down. I am not immune to occasionally feeling anxiety. I'm not immune to any of this. I'm a human being, as though people close to me would like to say, you're not human. You know, it's times like this make me remember that I am human. So apologies, that's why I haven't been around so much this week. I've been doing stuff, but I'm good. You know, it happens. And this is not a platform for me to cry and complain, because we're all going through our shit, right? It's just to let you know that I go through it as well. In the old days, like that summer when I was 16, I was 6 weeks and I sequestered myself into my bedroom and didn't leave in the summer. Now I've got a choice. Instead of it being 6 weeks, it's a couple of days, not feeling great, but I'm like, what can I do? What can I do right now? Some social distancing, can't go out to restaurants. You know, it's my birthday on Friday. Feel free to send me gifts. You know, we can't go out, we can't really socialise, can't go to the cinema, can't go to the theatre and things like this. Can't control any of this. None of us can. So playing that game of what can't I control, you're unconscious because say, well, you can't control this, you can't control going to a different country, you can't control going to the cinema, you can't control going to the restaurant because none of them open. So that's a loser's game. That's a loser's game. That's a game that's set up for you to fail, and to fail miserably, and to be fucking miserable and to feel like a failure. So that's not a game you should play. It's not a game I should play either. The game all of us should be playing now is, what can I control? In this universal global lockdown right now, I can't do this, we can't do that. That's right, all that stuff I just mentioned. But what can we control? What can we do right now to take control of our life, to raise our state, to feel as good as we can? Not every person, including me, feels good every moment of every day. It's impossible, folks. And whoever tells you that that is true, they are speaking bullshit. But how can we limit the times we feel shitty and increase the times we feel better and better, and live more in this place and a lot less in this place? Hey Pamela, how are you? Lynette, how are you? Hypno Pixie, how are you? If you're watching, give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. I like the hearts. Or simply say hi. And if you've had a tough week this week, it's on Sunday, last day of the week, right? If you've had a tough day this week, you know, nothing wrong with that. We all have tough days. Put below. If this week's been particularly tough for you, you know, put below. Let's show some community here, because it has been tough for me. But, you know, I'm through it. And last night, I decided to stop wallowing. And, you know, I was still doing stuff. You know, I was still doing my studying, my reading, working one-on-one with my Zoom and Skype clients, yeah. You know, people are like, well, you can do hypnosis over Zoom. Hey, Dylan Black, how are you? Totally, yeah, because hypnosis takes place in your mind. So it doesn't matter whether I'm in the same room as somebody or 5,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean. It all takes place in your mind. So hypnosis can happen anywhere. In actual fact, you know, people come in and requesting my help is probably higher now than it was before. And I was doing, you know, having a lot of people I was assisting before all of this, the lockdown and Corona was happening. But yeah, still getting a lot of people that need help. So if you do need help with anxiety, overcoming it, or some other challenge in your life, and you can't, you know, we can't get together physically, then studies have shown over Zoom, over Skype or WhatsApp video, any form of video, as long as I can see you, because that is important, the hypnosis and the effects of the hypnosis are just as effective, I should say, folks. You might have seen some pictures that I posted today of some clients that I've been working with via Zoom. It's amazing. Had this lovely lady yesterday. It was the second session, actually. She is in Chicago. I am in Toronto, so many, many miles away. About a 10-hour drive. I did drive there once with my girlfriend. It's about 10 hours. And she's coming to see me for fasting. She's doing fasting, 3 days of fasting, breaks it with 1 meal, 3 days of fasting. She's got about 50 pounds to lose. I didn't prescribe that for her to do. It was something that she wanted to do before we ever met, and she wanted my assistance in helping her to stick with her fasts. So again, never met her physically, never shook her hand, but we did our second session, and she's just like, it's just amazing that the trance, doesn't matter if I'm physically there or not, you know, she's just like, just completely zoned out in a beautiful trance tunnel, and she's already down 9 pounds in 1 week. And the hypnosis just is helping her to stick with her fast. Because fasting, if you've ever done it before, I certainly have. My record was 4 days with no calories. It's very much a mental game. Physically, your body can go on all for a long time. I believe the record for fasting, no calories whatsoever, is I believe it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's a gentleman who went over 385 days. That's over a year. He chose to fast. He wasn't in a prison or a hunger strike. He chose to fast. I believe he had some form of cancer or something. And after just over a year, he'd lost hundreds of pounds, and his cancer-like symptoms had resolved themselves. And all of his vital statistics, the good ones had gone up, and the bad ones were rendered obsolete. So it was amazing. But yeah, she's having great success, and she'd consistently break her fast after a day or two, again, not through physiological issues, but because of mental issues, like she was stressed, she was anxious, she was happy, she would eat too much, she was sad, she would eat too much. The hypnosis has made it a lot easier for her to stick with the fast, be in that moment. And if you've ever fasted before, it kind of puts you in a meditative state anyways, a little bit of a trancey state. So hypnosis can really, really help with that. But yeah, guys, if it's tough out there for you, that's one thing to take solace in at this moment, right? It's tough for us all. It's tough for us all right now, right? Some of us have days where we have more highs than lows. Some of us more lows than highs. Some people more even kilted. But we're all going through it now, universally, around the world. There's some kind of solace to take. Some global consciousness is we're all 7.5 billion of us are going through this right now. There is a collective. So although we feel like we're the only one that's suffering, no, everyone's suffering. Your neighbour's suffering. People on the opposite side of the world are suffering right now. And they're all suffering with this same condition. And there's a kind of solace. There's a kind of solace to take from that we're all suffering. We're all going through this together. So in that weird and strange way, we're not alone. So if you have a tough day, it's okay. But if you live in that tough day, for more days than the good days, and you don't do anything to get out of it, then that does become problematic, and that is your responsibility. If you're living in the shitty end, you're spending more time there than you are on the good end, then that is your responsibility to do something about. To make it so you never have another shitty day in your life, it's a great cause. But good luck with that, because we're always going to have shitty moments or shitty days. But the goal, at least in my work with people, is to shrink the shitty days, shrink the shitty times, the shitty emotions and the shitty feelings, and we will all always feel them, but shrink them so we limit them, and we spend most of our time here of living in a place of joy, happiness, positivity. And that happened to me last night. I don't know what happened last night. I got up with a sunrise, right? Like that movie City of Angels. I wanted to do that. I got up with sunrise. I didn't get up really because I hadn't been to bed. It sounds like it's a great story, right? Not so much. My sleeping patterns have been up the yazoo right now, so it was not an exciting story. My sleep has been all over the place right now. But I got to watch the sunrise, and I felt that sunrise kind of reverberate on my body and almost allow me to be reborn. I know I'm sounding a bit earthy and crunchy now. It's not who I am. I'm not the earthy, crunchy guy, but this is a true experience for me. And I felt that kind of warmth take hold, and it was all those problems and those struggles and those challenges. It just fell off like a veil, if you will, like a sheet that I was wearing. I just started to feel better, not because I was using some amazing hypnotic skill, although I can help you to do that to yourself, but it's just like, I'm done feeling shit. I've been feeling shitty for the last couple of days. I'm now done with feeling shitty. I'm now going to choose to feel good, and I felt really good today. No particular reason. The world is still under lockdown. I still can't go to the cinema, can't go to the restaurant, can't quite get my Starbucks, although one is open quite close to me now, which is a good thing. But I'm on the keto, so I'm not drinking the carbs. Just feel better. And when you can allow yourself to feel better through no particular reason other than you're fucking alive, that's when you know you're winning. If you need to consume drugs, too much sex, too much TV, too much attention, too much social media, too many video games, too many items, who's buying more stuff now from Amazon that you're under lockdown? and you're getting that hit of feeling good and good and good, but it's not authentic feeling of feeling good. It's that temporary little, again, that vow of feeling good. You know, you're not feeling good from an authentic place. It's just like that hit of feeling good for the moment. But when you can get into the habit of increasing the good feeling and feeling good for no fucking reason other than you are alive, and you spend more of your time here and less of your time here, that's when you're doing good. It's when your mental health is doing good and you are growing. If you're watching and you've joined us, give me a thumb up, give me a wave, or give me a heart. I love to receive the hearts. I grew up in a house full of women, mum and 2 sisters, did not get enough love as a young boy. So any love you give me now is going to help to fill that young boy up. Like that for emotional black now, eh? But yes, so this week I am going to be on the Facebook Live, I promise. Ideally every night, but if I'm not going to be here every night, then do forgive me. It'll be between 7 and 8 every night. And on Wednesday, that's Wednesday, do you want to go to Disneyland? Do you really want to go to Disneyland? Because this upcoming Wednesday, if you would like a vacation, now I know you probably can't leave your country, you can't leave your apartment other than for essentials, but if you've always wanted to go to Disneyland, I'm going to take you there for free this coming Wednesday at around about 7 p.m, somewhere between 7 and 8. I'm going to hypnotise you to go on a virtual vacation, a staycation, in your brain, so you can have the experience of going to Disneyland. Now, I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. For some people, Disneyland, that's a nightmare. Keep me away. It's a wonderful world, or whatever that song is they keep playing. For some people, when I was small, I'd always want to go to Disneyland. Always want to go to Disneyland. So if you want to go to Disneyland, virtually in your mind, because you can't get out of the country right now, join us on Wednesday, between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm going to hypnotise you for a virtual vacation to Disneyland. Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks, and I will see you tomorrow. Almost the same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel. Always believe.